Did this pandemic flush your fitness down the toilet? Are you struggling to climb back and hating that feeling of not being as strong or as conditioned as you were in the past? I have coached a lot of people through setbacks and experienced a ton personally. So today I'm going to give you 5 training concepts to help you come back stronger than ever and hopefully avoid more pitfalls going forward. So stick around, you've got this. Training concept number 1, motor control and good movement must come first. Let's face it, you aren't going to fix the last 18 months in the first few weeks back in the gym. In fact, it's time to change your mentality from fix it to build it. If you head into the gym hoping to just get it done and fix whatever setbacks you've had, you'll miss an opportunity to learn better movement and technique, which will come back around again to bite you if you don't get it right this time. When you show up at your physical therapist's office to figure out why your back, shoulder, or knee is hurting, they're going to break down your squatting and lunging mechanics and make you learn it all over again. So instead of focusing on the outcome, let's focus on the method to develop great technique and keep you from plateaus, injury, and more setbacks down the line. In functional bodybuilding, we develop technique with the following: slow tempos and pauses within movements, foundational exercises in every program, regardless of your skill level. Advanced and beginner programs will have all things like planks and push-ups. We utilize skill-building movement prep every single day. We perform motor pattern training from day one: squat, hinge, push, pull, core patterns. We reinforce these time and time again. We utilize small muscle isolation work in order to help you connect the most basic mind-muscle contractions too. Training concept number 2, range of motion and strength and muscle building and cardio are not exclusive concepts. I recall the early days of hitting the gym with my brother as a teenager. We would walk out of the gym after doing 24 sets of chest and have an amazing pump. I also remember feeling myself after several months losing some range of motion. I thought it was kind of cool, as this is what I noticed in the Muscle Magazine bodybuilders too. They walked around as if they were wearing a jacket that was just a bit too small for them. Limited range of motion was synonymous with building muscle and getting strong. If you wanted to get a big chest, you were going to lose range of motion. If you wanted a 450-pound squat, I was going to have to get my hips a little bit tighter. Well, 20 plus years have taught me that I was mistaken. This was the most painful mistake I made in the gym, quite literally. For this led to more injuries and pains in my body than any other mistake. I've come to learn that while we work hard to build strength, muscle, and cardiovascular fitness, we need to be mindful to give appropriate time and energy to range of motion training too. Without it, there will tend to be a decline in joint health, and eventually, a training obstacle will present itself. It's hard to give adequate time and energy to all fitness traits. That is why exercise selection is so important when it comes to picking movements that can help you build strength, muscle, and also great range of motion. When used in connection with cardiovascular training tools, we can also build great aerobic capacity without compromising range of motion too. Here are 5 of my favorite moves for strength, hypertrophy, and range of motion as well. The first is the ATG split squat. This builds strength and range of motion in the quads, hips, hip flexors, and the ankles. You purposely are going to send your knees out over your toes with the goal of completely covering the calf with your hamstring muscle. That means full knee bend. The back knee is going to remain off the ground in order to get a big stretch in the hip flexors. Your torso has to stay upright. Following these 3 movement cues that I'm giving you here will result in great range of motion plus a potent strength stimulus on the legs and the glutes and the hamstrings while maintaining great range of motion. The deficit snatch deadlift is another favorite of mine. It hits the ankles, hips, low back, and upper back. This is a wonderful, posterior chain strengthening exercise, and you will get anterior quad dominant muscle stimulus from this position as well. The range of motion is substantial here, and it should be. Keep the shoulders above the hips at all times in this lift. You will work the legs and the posterior chain muscles. Plus, at the bottom position, you'll get a deep stretch in the hips, in the back, the knees, and the ankles. For the upper body, I love the dumbbell pull-over. This is going to hit your triceps, your lats, your shoulders, and a little bit of chest. The goal should be to progress towards keeping the hands and the hips below the level of the bench when you're in the fully stretched overhead position. Trying to achieve this range of motion while lifting heavier and heavier weights will complement one another and provide range of motion as well as strength and hypertrophy. Remember, the focus is on the angle of the shoulder as you open and reach up overhead. Another upper body favorite of mine is strict dips. This is hugely impactful for the chest, triceps, and shoulders. The dip is going to allow us to explore a very deep range of motion in the shoulder while covering all of those upper body muscles that I just mentioned. You can even use a little bit of support from your feet on the floor or with a band, and that can aid in getting you even deeper into these ranges of motion to help open up your shoulders and provide you with long-term shoulder health and stability. Returning one more time to the lower body, I love the Cossack squat. In particular, for strength and hypertrophy, the back rack Cossack squat. This is going to put a great stress on your adductors, your hips, your ankles, and provide you with a great lower body strength and hypertrophy stimulus. This movement does regress all the way back to assisted forms that will allow you to learn these deep positions and this flexibility. The feet are to remain flat on the floor at all times, and the torso is meant to be as vertical as you can make it. The back rack loading position is one of the more advanced positions for this exercise, so consider loading it with a plate, with a goblet, with a dumbbell, or just with your body weight. Okay, training concept number 3 that's going to get you back on the path to consistency and success is cardio will help everything. If someone comes to me looking for the simplest way to get back into working out, I always tell them, start walking. Go for a 30-minute walk every day. If it starts to feel easy, then walk faster. After 1 to 2 weeks, if you're feeling like you want to do some more, then we can start discussing some body weight or weight training exercises. This isn't just me being a lazy coach. Rather, it's me recognizing now that at 37 years old, that cardiovascular training and cardiovascular health need to be the foundation for everybody. It will help with everything. The act of breathing and pumping blood around your body consistently for periods of 30 minutes or more has profound impacts on your brain chemistry and your body. Cardio shouldn't be painful, and it shouldn't make you want to quit every single time you do it. Instead, it should be something that fills you with energy and makes you feeling amazing when you finish. Of course, you can progress your cardio and push your aerobic capacity over time, but as a daily foundation to your fitness, just make sure you get it done. I firmly believe that with daily, steady-state cardio, you will see the following improvements. Mental health improvements. You will feel more energetic, positive, and motivated to keep moving and make quality health choices throughout your day. Recovery. Blood flow is one of the best tools that we have to heal and recover our tissues. Cardio will help feed your muscles and joints with healthy nutrients. Detoxification. Sweat and breath are 2 of the best ways to get toxins out of your body, and a daily dose of 30 minutes of sweating and breathing through a cardio training is a great way to knock both of these out. If you want a prescription, I would recommend that you make a 30-minute cardio session a goal 5 days of the week. Get your 150 minutes in, and over time, you can progress to making this a daily habit that is now non-negotiable. Okay, training concept number 4 on your path back to consistency. Cycle through simple and complex, progressive overload with a periodic return to fundamentals. If you've been around functional bodybuilding for a while, then you've heard me talk about progressive overload before. This is the concept that in order to make change, you need to make small intentional increases to intensity, volume, challenge of your training over time if you wish to see results. Broken down, this concept essentially states that if you always lift the same 100 pounds every time you're in the gym, then you will cease to get stronger at some point when this becomes easy. You would need to progressively overload to 105 pounds, then 110 pounds, and so forth if you wish to see continual strength gains. I'm here to reinforce just how important this concept is. If you aren't making logical and regular progression in your training, then you will certainly stall out in progress and fail to reach your goals in most cases. Furthermore, progression in training is extremely mentally motivating. We need to stay engaged in this lifelong fitness pursuit, and having 6 to 8 to 12 week periods of training that push you along due to the simple fact that you're getting better each week is a wonderful result. I am infinitely more excited to train when I feel myself getting better in some aspect of fitness. The second part of this FBB pillar that is often overlooked is the aspect of deloading and returning to fundamentals. If you follow progressive overload principles, it doesn't mean you add 5 pounds every couple of weeks for the rest of your life. That's just illogical to anyone who thinks about it in practice. Yet, many people training always enter the gym with the mindset that it must be harder, faster, stronger, longer than last time. Long-term success is going to require periods of progressive overload, followed by deloading periods, when you address imbalances, focus on fundamentals, and slow things down. This is how you can follow the look good, move well lifestyle and address this concept. First, engage in 6 to 12 week training cycles that allow you to follow a progressive overload. Then, periodically test yourself with some fitness benchmarks. These mark the end of longer periods of growth and should show off to you all the progress that you're making objectively. Then, slightly shift priority with each training cycle. You should expect a particular feeling, timeline, and overarching goal in your training. But the specific fitness traits that your program prioritizes within a cycle should vary from one cycle of training to another. This changes the target. Is this a squat focus, a bench focus, an endurance focus? And it allows us to avoid the perpetual progressive overload in a single exercise. Just imagine how hard it must be for an athlete like an elite powerlifter to be trying to make the same 3 lifts stronger year after year after year after year. If we change the specific target of a training cycle, we add a little bit of variety into our training, we diversify our training goals, and it can make it much easier to follow the progressive overload cycle for a lifetime. Okay, the training concept, the 5th training concept that I think is important for consistency and you getting back on track is as follows. The best training program is the one you are excited and motivated to follow. Use variation wisely. I've followed mediocre programming with great enthusiasm because the people I train with were amazing. Guess what? The results were terrific. I've also followed incredible programming with mediocre enthusiasm because the program didn't align with my lifestyle and my goals. And guess what? The results were crap. The point here is that what makes a program the best has a lot more to do with how you connect to it. Are you excited about it? Does the program itself interest you and motivate you to train? Do you wake up each day pumped about the opportunity to get in there and move? This concept has been a guiding light for me in the past 5 years of my training life. I always start with the question, am I excited to train today? There are many factors that influence the answer to that question. Diet can influence that. Eating too many processed sugars and not enough quality protein and fat can make you lose motivation. Sleep. Not getting enough quality sleep can make your desire to train non-existent. Programming. The programming is ineffective or lacks diversity that you need to stay engaged. Your environment. You're training in a physical location that isn't inspiring, or the people you are surrounded with in your life don't support your healthy lifestyle. Training time. You're trying to train at 4 a.m. when your body craves movement at noon or at 4 p.m. Do what you can to adjust your schedule when possible. I believe people mistakenly assume that the programming itself is to blame and that they need more variety to be excited to get in the gym. While this can be true, it isn't always the case. How do I know this? Because I've seen countless people program hop from one program to the next, only to find themselves just as unmotivated as before. Now, on the flip side, a touch of variety or a change of training focus has definitely been a tool to overcome some low motivation or lack of excitement. You just want to be careful with how much variety you need to stay focused and motivated. If you're constantly changing things and you never get to see yourself progress, then you might lose motivation. Maybe you're a highly trained individual who craves and needs more variation. For these reasons, the Look Good, Move Well lifestyle will continue to challenge you to look at all aspects of your life, from nutrition, sleep, relationships, environment, and training, to evaluate where your blocks are coming from. On the training side, know these things. Beginners, you need less variation to see results. Results are the most powerful motivator. Intermediate athlete, you need slightly more complex training programs and a touch more of variety. And for the advanced athletes, you could likely benefit from a bit more diversity in your training. I truly hope this coming year of 2022 sees many of you back on a successful health and fitness journey. We aren't going to overcome the setbacks of the last 18 months quickly. So let's set a path for long-term consistency. I would love for you to come and join me and participate in my Functional Bodybuilding Persist program, where we will work with you to overcome your obstacles thoughtfully. My new Pillars track will have 60-minute workouts 4 days a week to help you get the most out of every single session. Check out the link in the description below. Try it for 2 weeks free. I look forward to seeing you in the new year. Best of luck.